All right, everybody, coming up on the stretch today, we're going to talk about the big Bears Indiana news as well as some other interesting tidbits I found. We will get into all that. We have Brian Anderson joining the show. We're going to talk about the White Sox. Good, healthy amount of PCA, of course, because when you talk about the White Sox, you can't not talk about PCA. And we are also obviously going to talk about the tragic death of our guy, Stacey King. So tune into that. We will have it coming right up. But before we do, I want to talk about Mountain Dew. Listen, boys, Mountain Dew and summer, what a combo. What a combo.
I had some down at the Concrete Beach this week. Getting a little tan, getting a little sun, crack a Mountain Dew, watch the sailboats go by. It was awesome.
Did you walk with the Mountain Dew like open, or did you bring a cooler, like have it on ice? Like how was your
I just had the can. I love the can. So I just had that in my bag with everything, with a little like Ziploc bag of ice to make sure it was cold when I got there. You cracked that thing, it really hit. It was perfect.
I love it. Nothing goes better with the beach and hanging out with your friends than the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is proudly born in the foothills of Tennessee. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew, an American original. Grab a Dew, tasting great since 48. All right, everybody, welcome to the stretch. As you heard off the top of the show, the big news on Friday was the Bears Indiana news. Do you want to start there, or do you want to do other Bears shit first? Because I am beyond fucking exhausted talking about the story, but
it feels now that it's like this is it, and I also, you don't think so?
I still don't buy it. I truly don't.
Not really.
Part of me is trying to cope. Part of me is like, I really don't believe it.
So,
yes,
truthfully.
All right, I gotta find this because Che did the quote tweet, so I'll find it. But it was basically like they've done steps at Hammond that they have never done in Arlington Heights, where they're doing like the environmental studies. They've never done that.
I don't think you need to do that at Arlington.
Never did the traffic study. Obviously you had the purchase price, but that was done by the previous regime. All the next steps to be taken, it seems like they've been consistently more serious, like from a back room type of thing to get it approved at Hammond than they have been at Arlington Heights.
Is that not just a leverage play? Maybe, it may not be, but to me, I think if you are reading the tea leaves and looking at this from a bird's eye view, the Bears clearly want Arlington Heights. And
why?
They already bought the site. They want to stay in Illinois.
They could break ground this second in Indiana if they wanted to. It's all the legislation is already there. The land is already there. There might be a couple logistical concerns like the EPA and all that, but from what I understand, if they wanted to build in Indiana right now, they could do so. The only thing that is holding them back from building in Arlington right now is that $53 million a year.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's $54 million tax, the property tax of what they would pay. Why can't the state just be like, all right, make it 20. The Bears go, okay, we'll pay the 20, which is still the highest in all of American sports, and then play in Arlington Heights. Or do what I said and just trade locations with the White Sox.
Did you, what was that Old Orchard Mall just shut down?
Lincolnwood?
It was one of these like kind of malls that's gone out of business in Chicagoland area. Their property tax was going to be $17 million. So it's not just like this is a thing like across the state. It's not even just the Bears, but it's just like, why can't we just make a deal? Like fucking just make a deal.
That's the operating.
I think they just all want to get the best deal for them, and that's the.
What about the best deal for us?
Definitely, but is the best deal for us in their eyes, like making sure taxpayer money isn't going towards the stadium. That's
the spin zone they could use, but that's not how they're thinking.
For sure. There's two sides of the coin.
Or just fucking, I mean, the tax thing I think is like, that's found money. Like you're not going to recoup that no matter what you build on that site. So if it's subdivisions or whatever it ends up being, if it's not a stadium, you're never going to get the nut that you're proposing that the Bears get, because, you know, so it's just like, find a solution, build the stadium, and it's just like, I don't buy this. Oh, it's not right for the taxpayer. Well, you're not getting jack shit for it right now anyways.
I said something yesterday that I think I'll say it again right here, that it got shit on. I kind of want my tax dollars to go towards that kind of shit. If you took a line, like a spreadsheet of every outbound payment that the state of Illinois is making right now, I'm sure we could come up with enough billions of dollars that are just being wasted on absolutely fucking nothing, where it's like, all right, cut all that and just add the Bears, and it's an equal balance sheet anyways. You know what I mean?
So I found the tweet. It's from this guy, Master McGoo. So take that for what it's worth. But Chicago media keeps calling the Bears' handling of the Arlington Heights project incompetent. What if it wasn't incompetence? What if every fumble, every delay, every misstep was telling you exactly where the Bears were already going? Thanksgiving 2025, the Bears had already begun environmental due diligence in Hammond. Nobody knew. The public found out when a business owner received a state letter saying Indiana was buying their property. They called Hammond City Hall. McDermott started believing. December of 25, drilling equipment spotted at Wolf Lake. Phase 2 environmental testing underway. They spent $10 million plus on this. Organizations don't spend $10 million on due diligence for leverage. They spent $10 million on places they're actually considering going. February 26, Illinois scheduled a hearing on the Bears stadium bill. The Bears asked Illinois to pause it. Illinois paused. Same day, Bears praised Indiana's SB 27 as the most meaningful step forward in our stadium planning efforts to date. Pritzker said he was surprised. So, like February in that same year, or earlier this year, Illinois had a productive 3-hour meeting with Bears officials. They mostly agreed on a bill in quotes and were ready to move forward the next morning. Kevin Warren chose not to attend that meeting himself. The Bears CEO didn't show up at the most important Illinois meeting. So I think that this might be a thing where McCaskey might want Arlington Heights, but he's getting rolled over by his CEO who did not purchase that land, and they're going full, like his regime who's handling the decisions day to day, because there was also that report that came out that said McCaskey was angry at Kevin Warren. And then it's like they have the statement that came out last week. We've seen a million open letters from Kevin Warren about this process. This one was, authored by and signed by the both of them. It was McCaskey and Warren doing it together. So I thought that was a little bit interesting too. So I kind of think that maybe there was like internal strife between the various ownership, and then, with Virginia dying, like the McCaskies still have a large voting block. But there's a lot of people in the McCaskey family who have sway. So is this like Kevin Warren going around and it's like, I'm plucking off this faction of the McCaskies, I'm getting this faction of the McCaskies who fell into this money, being second, third, maybe fourth generation that now own shares, where it's like, we just wanted to get our most money possible, and we can't do that in Arlington Heights. We can do it in Hammond. So it's like,
I hope it's not.
That would make more sense to me.
I think that makes complete and total sense.
But I hope it's not the case.
If you're looking at it from their perspective,
no, dude.
No,
your legacy matters. If this happens, George's fucking legacy when he's dead.
Yes, it's his name.
In 100 years, he's going to be known as the guy that had the Bears move to Indiana.
100, of course. Unless they have like at the same time, unless they're having like a Caleb Williams led dynasty, that can change. But like if short of that, and then you're right, you're the guy who moved the team.
Exactly.
And it's like, you look at, did you guys see the any videos or images of Soldier Field over the weekend hosting USA versus Germany soccer?
I did.
Like they had the B-52 bombers, the skyline in the background. I know you're not getting that at Arlington either, but it was like, I cannot believe that they're leaving this with sold out stadium, absolutely beautiful setting to go to fucking Hammond. It's just like, it's a joke.
And it's also a thing too where like, all right, I see that, whoever tweeted that. Then there was other people with the report that Kevin Warren told Cunningham, I forget his first name, the guy who's been dealing with the legislation, was like
senator,
that Warren told him that day, I'm looking forward to having more conversations. Now who knows if that means towards the stadium. People are like, that could mean anything. Yeah. Whatever. Like, but that was kind of right there, the people being like, oh, Warren's an idiot. He's showing his hand that this is clearly a leverage play. Regardless.
There was one thing that I saw. So I think the first open letter was in December, right around Christmas, right?
I mean,
one of them.
These have been going back for years now.
One of the more important ones was, I believe, right around Christmas, and it said we have zeroed in on a location in Northwest Indiana, in Hammond or whatever it was. And then in the last one that just came out that was co-penned by McCaskey and Warren, it said we will start looking at exact location. So they almost kind of like if you look at the language
that
carefully,
means like in and around Wolf Lake, you know.
but they said they already had the specific location. Like
I think they meant Hammond, and now this is like where in Hammond.
It could be that. It could be that, or it could be they just told on themselves that they don't actually have it. That they're going to start looking at it and don't listen to what we said 6 months ago because that was just a leverage play.
But they've already done the digging and the environmental, like they've already done all that.
I don't think you need to do that in Arlington though.
Why?
Like environmental.
Well, they have. I mean, the traffic study is supposedly cost $500,000. They haven't even written that check.
But going back to that reporter too, who you're talking about, and who Stephen Che's following or whatever, I don't know who to believe anymore.
That's
do
fair.
believe that there are people leaking other things to get their fucking propaganda pushed out.
Yes.
Like that's undeniable.
Yeah,
totally.
Well, the Bears are doing that.
Yeah,
and like, listen, that's how it works. I'm not.
No, I know.
mad at it, but
Just
that's why I'm
fucking
just saying.
sell the
don't
lakefront
know.
property to the Bears at this point. Like, just do that.
Has anyone ever asked them that?
I don't know, but it's like,
Is that feasible? Like, Friends of the Park, would they allow that? Like, isn't
You would have to clear that $365 million that's owed, I'm sure, but the Bears don't owe that. That's the city that owns that.
Yeah, but
Right.
I don't like protect the fucking waterfront, like however many yards before.
Yeah,
so they
like-
can't touch that, and then sell them the fucking south lot and that plot for whatever
right,
soldiers
on the
on now.
museum campus. Like, you can. What's the street that divides the museum from Soldier Field property? Like, make the border
I
that
think that's museum
Olympic
campus.
Drive. I think
Something.
it's Special Olympics Drive. Or
something.
Oh, you're right. Maybe
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
And it's just like it just feels like there's no creativity. And then you see that Brandon Johnson was on the score and being like, "Yeah, I had to leave Bears Packers early." It's like, dude, why the fuck are you involved in this at all?
Buffoonery.
Yeah.
Buffoonery.
That say what you want about Brandon Johnson. I don't think many people in the city like him, no matter what side of the aisle you fall on. That saying that out loud is just a complete and total lack of. You have no idea what the vibe of your constituents are.
Right.
Like, you can't say that out loud.
That's a crazy.
That's
move.
a crazy thing to say.
and it's
It's
just
an absolute
I don't
crazy
know. It's just such a frustrating thing. And it's like I was all on board the Arlington thing initially because I hate Soldier Field so much. But like now it's just like, why are we doing this? And it's like, and then you tore down the track, which I know is like only if you really care about horse racing, which is a minority obviously. But it's just like, so you bought all that, you spent $300-something million on Arlington to do nothing with it,
and they're paying $3.5 million a year in taxes right now.
No,
for
I know,
that
but
land.
That's fucking nothing.
I understand that's nothing, but
I
add 10 to that and you're at the league maximum, and that's just sitting their land.
No, I know, but and then the other thing about like, can they sell them that property with conditions like you're saying, Ed, about protecting the lakefront and whatnot? Last time I checked, the city's in unbelievable debt. Yeah. Like, couldn't they use a little bit of upfront cash plus the follow-on property tax? Because there would still be property tax even if they own it, obviously.
Yeah.
So can't they do that? And just, isn't that the right, like, but it feels like that's never really been considered.
Yeah. No, I would love, that would be a great question to ask.
I wish we could turn back the clocks and renovate Soldier Field correctly.
In 2002. I wonder, even if they did it correctly, if they would still be in this scenario, because
they still don't own it.
They still don't own it. So like, the renovation, obviously disaster. They didn't do a good job. It was like obvious right from the get-go that it was like, you guys fucked this shit up.
Terrible job.
Terrible, ugly, monstrosity, the bathrooms, the whole thing. Like, Soldier Field, like, no one's sitting here like,
no, it's the worst.
Right.
If you have to take a piss, you're missing a quarter of football almost.
Yeah, we were all for it. Like,
right.
Moved to Arlington, and then like, this has gotten so exhausting where it's like, fuck it, we'll just live in our shit.
Yeah,
we'll stay in our shanty.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like part of that is the vibe. I wonder if the team didn't have so many great moments at home last year with the playoffs and the Packer game, that I wonder if people are like, man, like, outside, the cold, the Bears, but that it, like, romanticized Soldier Field in a way where it's like we hadn't had a moment worth having in a long time. Right. And it's like, I think that might be an element of it too. It's just frustrating that it's just like you said, Dave, like, you're just mad at fucking everybody involved that it's gotten to this. And then I was excited when the Arlington thing got it, I'm like, oh, Super Bowl would be cool. A Final Four would be cool. Like,
I don't need that.
But it's like, no, when you really think about it, it's once every 30 years.
Exactly.
Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, you lose that like glamorization for that.
Yeah, and it's like, and you see, like, I love a stadium rendering. We've talked about that many times, but it's like you look at it, it's like, okay, so all the renderings are like we're putting Allegiant Field in Arlington.
Yeah,
like at least Soldier Field now, it does have like character, and for all its problems, it's great. Location, getting out, obviously, like we've talked about, it's exhausting even talking about that. But those watching over the weekend, we have the B-52s and the panoramic shots and the skyline in the background,
the lake with all the boats.
Yeah, and it's just like this is a crown jewel location if you did it the right way. But they just can't do it.
Why can't we just get rid of the columns?
But I like the columns.
I know you can't.
you can.
You can move them.
Yeah. Well, it's not landmark protected anymore.
Oh, it's not.
No. At least that's what I read.
What are we even talking about?
Yeah, nothing.
Why don't you just not?
It was landmark status, and then it's
when the Bears renovated Soldier Field originally.
That was an issue.
They didn't play.
Stop hitting your mic.
They didn't play at Ryan Field because of the capacity of Ryan Field, and that's why because it would have made sense to play in Evanston compared to Champaign, obviously. But someone brought up a good point to me because I remember that being a thing. They wouldn't play it. I'm like, why would they not play at Ryan Field?
Yeah.
It's right there. But when the SoFi was being built, they played at like a 25,000 seat soccer stadium,
Chargers
I guess.
did,
yeah. And there was a couple other examples. So it's like, all right, well, new Ryan Field's open. That's 35,000. It'll be open this fall at least.
They might want an anchor tenant for the next while that's being built. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
knock down Soldier Field and start from scratch right there and figure out the ingress, egress, or whatever, and there you go.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that? Why does it have to be Hammond? You guys haven't been there. You haven't been there, right?
Where?
Hammond.
I mean I've been to Hammond a ton.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever?
No, I haven't been to Wolf.
Have you ever been like walked around Hammond?
No.
I didn't. I didn't have.
I also hated that fucking statement where we're gonna connect the South Side.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. No, you're not.
To the northern suburbs. Like, no, you're
gonna have
not.
like a 5x5 block radius that is awesome, and it's gonna be all around it, especially across state lines. It's gonna be the same low income that always was there. Yeah,
and like you could. Like, because they're talking about doing like the whole thing with like the shops, the restaurants, all
casinos,
that
all that
at Arlington, Bears Hall of Fame. Like, Arlington's in an area where like you could be going to the mall or whatever, and like let's pop over. You know, like you could almost fall into it.
You're not doing that down there.
You're not stop there when you landed O'Hare. Let's go to Arlington.
Exactly. Yeah. But you're not going out. I'm not going out of my way to go to the Bears. I might do it once on a game day. Get there a little bit early to
see around.
Yeah, just take a little.
Yeah, people aren't flying in the Midway to go stop at Hammond. There's no way.
No.
Moving on. Went to the Madden event. Caleb Williams was there. Roma Dunze was there. Cool event. Caleb seemed fired up.
Fucking man.
He's the man.
Really nice guy.
He is such a pro in just handling everything. There was one point where one of Caleb's handlers, I hate, if I were in his position, I would hate if I had handlers, but she's like, guys, give Caleb your space. Like, I couldn't handle that. If I was that famous where I'm being mocked by a million people, and he just let it slide right off his back. He is such a pro. When we were upstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She was super nice.
No, it wasn't.
It was his PR.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bad
PR
thing.
people are great.
Yeah.
It wasn't she wasn't being rude or anything like that. I didn't mean it like that. But it's like, hey, guys, if I were and people were just like, but he handles it like flawlessly.
Yeah.
Everything about him. When he's like, I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
He didn't know who he was, but he played it off perfectly. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It's a nice time.
Yeah.
Really, this is the final Bears thing I want to talk about. What I found the most interesting thing from last week, other than the stadium garbage that we just spent 20 minutes on, was, did you guys see that Ben Johnson kind of took a little shot of the bow across the face to Kyler Gordon?
No.
He said his best ability, availability, basically.
He's like, yeah, you got to develop trust. You got to be on the field to develop trust, which is like, oh, everyone was kind of like, oh, all right, like, and I know coaches do.
Was he hurt for minicamp?
Yeah, he got banged up again, and I know coaches strategically do that shit, and like, I don't know, something tells me that, like, we've only had him in here once. Something tells me that Kyler Gordon would respond well to that. But I also don't think, I think he's genuinely hurt. I don't think he's a
he is
perpetual
I also think it's one of those things.
soft tissue guy.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? He has spent a lot of time,
Yeah,
you know. But it's also like if you've been paid and you're just coming off the year you had where you were barely available, which is Ben Johnson's first year, obviously. Do you want to show up and tweak something in minicamp? Are you going to be naturally more cautious this time of year?
I think that if you're worried about getting hurt, you're going to get hurt a lot easier.
Maybe.
That could just be a complete meathead take, but something in my brain tells me that is a natural human psyche.
Could be.
Listen, he's 26. The Bears extended him for a reason. They let almost every other defensive DB walk, and I know they signed him before they made those decisions, but listen, they drafted him and Brisker the same year. And I understand cornerback's more of a value position than safety, but you kept him, and you extended him, and you didn't extend Quan.
Yeah, I would say inherently yes, but is a nickel more valuable than a safety? That, because that's all he does. He's a nickel package guy. So it's not like he's Jalen Johnson, outside lockdown corner. Mm-hmm. He's a nickel, which is typically your third best corner.
Yeah, listen,
or with a particular skill set, I should say too, but.
And I think they really like Malik Muhammad, who they just drafted from Texas. And listen, Kyler Gordon's good. I like him. Mm-hmm. The Bears are better when it's a combo of Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon and either Malik or Stevenson, whoever's the better man.
Yeah.
They're better if he's one of those three.
I agree.
So hopefully they'd figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, and look, when he's on the field and buzzing, he's electric. He's physical. He can blitz
off the edge. Has been one of the best plays.
Yeah.
Seeing 6 is fucking crashing.
He got home at a better clip than anybody on the roster last year.
Yeah. I think this shit happens. I'm not reading too much into it. I think Kyler Gordon's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I expect him to play a big role in Dennis Allen's defense. And, I think anyone who's kind of turning on him and getting ready to turn the page to Muhammad already is still...
No, I think that's very premature.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good depth to have, though. Good problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know how good this guy is. So
no,
it's very, very...
His measurables are good. We know that.
Exactly.
He was getting first-round love prior to last year, wasn't he? If I recall. I think I read that when they took him.
Yeah. All right, then. That's all Bears I have, unless you guys have anything. Let's go.
The Ian Wheeler, did you guys see him yesterday?
Yeah, he had a nice touchdown.
Oh, yeah, he did. Was it UFL or Canadian?
Was it UFL?
I think it was
UFL?
Yeah?
He had an 80-yarder where he just shaking everybody.
Good for him. Seemed like a good kid on Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, let's get into Brian Anderson, all right? Before we do, though, I want to talk about Chicagoland Chevy Dealers. Summer's here, and if you haven't made the move into a new Chevy yet, what are you waiting for? Chevy Drive Chicago all year round. The Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy Dealers have what you want and what you need, whether you're in need of a new truck, new SUV, new mom or dad ride like the all-new Traverse, we have it for you. You don't want to be on the side of the road on your way to Michigan or
Hammond.
Wisconsin or Hammond.
Hammond. That definitely not Hammond.
You don't want to be on the side of the road, okay? You got to have a Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
Get that Traverse, get that Silverado. Tailgate season will be here before you know. I mean, Sox Park tailgate season's now, so buy that Silverado, pull it up in Lot B, and be the belle of the ball of the tailgate. Head to your local Chevy dealer and learn more about what your next ride could be today. Chief's got that Blazer that we always talk about. I told you I rented one in Atlanta. It was good stuff. So go to your local Chevy dealer, learn more all about Chicagoland Chevy's full lineup. And on that note, let's get into Brian Anderson.
Whoosh.
All right, now we're in the interview portion of the show. We are joined by former White Sox player Brian Anderson. Brian, welcome to the show. I feel like we've tried to get you. Dave told us you're coming in at least 6 times. And we're finally happy that you're here. It's great
one
to
of
see
us,
you.
well, okay, usually we're texting each other at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That doesn't
come on in Monday.
No, man. Let's do it. I'll see you tomorrow. Both of us no sleep for 3 days.
Yeah.
That's typically how
great to finally have you in.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a fun summer so far.
Yeah, the White Sox are good, but I tell you what, I've been a little disappointed in you, only for one reason. You guys like you, Guff. The standard, the bar has been lowered so badly. It's like, man, the White Sox might win 60 games this year. Like, are you fucking shitting me? like if we don't win 60 games, I would have there'd have been a public hanging. I'd have been off the team. It's like now I thought they're going to win 80. I said 80 from the jump.
I thought that would have been an insane prediction.
They laughed me off my own podcast.
Yeah.
Guff was like, what?
What led you to 80 wins, though?
You know, I know Chris Getz pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got a lot of competitive drive. He's not as soft spoken. I mean, he's got some grit to him. He's funny, but he's got an ego too, right? You don't want to hang up 40 wins, 50 wins. Like those add up against you. And then when your career's over, there's always the Wikipedia page, right, that says what was his record as a GM.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go 40 and 120 to start the season, you got to claw your way back the next few years. So they got some really good players too. I mean, let's not forget Andrew Benintendi is hurt all the time, but
that's the guy you're leading with.
No, but yeah, welcome back. No, but I mean, for $15 million a year, you better hit 230 with 20 homers. I mean, I'd have done that for 10.
Would have.
I'd have stayed home. 5 nights a week, and I'd have hit 15 homers.
Yeah. But it's beyond that to me though. Is like, first of all, the first half of the season, not even the first half. I think they played like 70 games. So 65. Far,
yeah.
It looks as if they've hit on every one of these guys that they needed to hit on to be a competitive team this year, let alone in the future. And aside from Teal, obviously, who has been hurt, but we think he's going to be good. I didn't see it. And it was more that I was using like past precedent to assume they were going to be bad this year. 'Cause it's like they sold us on 2 rebuilds prior to this. A third one, they said that Jerry Reinsdorf looked in the camera and said, we owe it to the fans to get better as fast as possible. That led to the next year having the worst record in the history of the game. And this year, I just didn't see them hitting like they have on every one of these guys. And that's a credit to Chris Getz. And I'll say, like, in spite of what I thought about him and how he was hired, he has found a bunch of baseball players.
You're not kidding, man. I tell you what, the first things first, you can't have a rebuild with guys like Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez. Where's the camera at? This is gonna be to Luis Robert, you're a huge fucking pussy. You can and if you don't like it, come do something about it. But you'll roll your ankle on the way to come fight me. Probably.
He would.
Douchebag.
It was all of them.
Who was the biggest pussy of that core?
Oh, listen, I never knock on guys that get hurt because everyone goes through that. But you lose me, you lose guys like Dave, you know, as fans, even as a former player. There was never a world where I didn't run a ground ball out. Mm-hmm. Whether you're making $500,000 or $50 million, Ozzie Guillen would have yanked me. Like Ozzie Guillen would have yanked me out of the game so fast and been like, "You got to run to first, man." Like, and if you're struggling, you especially have to run to first. That's when the fans. You can win over White Sox fans. I struggled offensively for a couple years, man. Like, if you make good plays in center, like pour your heart into the game, run balls out, like the fans will stand behind you for an extended to a certain point, right? And then they're throwing.
Yeah, I mean, you see it this year, and they're probably going to end up right about 500, give or take, you know. But like to me, you throw the record away for that because they're playing the game correctly, and you know that does lead to wins, and that leads to a good clubhouse culture. It leads to, I mean, if I'm a free agent, if I'm due to be a free agent this coming year and I'm watching a White Sox game, I'm watching Sam Antonacci and how he plays the game.
That's your
I'm
guy.
like, that's because he
guy.
plays the game correctly. He gets like with the last core, those guys were insanely gifted physically. Mm-hmm. Luis Roberts, 6'3", 6'4", is built like a freak defensive end. Moncada's built like a running back.
Listen, Moncada's the sneakiest one of that group. You look at Moncada because you're like, oh, he's a second baseman. Mm-hmm. He's 6'1",
he's
220. He's built like
if he were American, he would have been running back at Alabama or something.
I thought he had the best chance, in my opinion, with his swing, his ability. I was like, man, he might win the MVP. And then he's like, watch me hit 220. And then
to your point, I remember he was at a rehab assignment down in Charlotte. I'm pretty sure this was Moncada. It might have been Robert. It might have been Eloy. It might have been one of those other losers. They had a tweet where they're like, we have to shut down, I think it was Moncada, for anticipated soreness in his rehab assignment.
Yeah.
And that just like, it's a complete and total opposite what you see on the field right now with the White Sox, a bunch of baseball rats that get every ounce out of their God-gifted physical ability compared to the last one who is all these physical freaks that just didn't like baseball.
You know, they're doing something with this new generation now that probably is a little bit foreign to guys like us, but I've bought in a little bit more is the workload management.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean don't play almost every day. It doesn't mean don't play hard. But, they did that with Colson. Colson was struggling in the minor leagues, and they sent him to Arizona.
Yep.
And they said, let's get you a mental breather. Let's tweak a few things, and look how it's paid off, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at a kid like Hagen Smith, and I'm like, I'm just wearing Guff out. I'm like, this guy's a first-round pick. He's thrown they'll throw like 3 innings, but give him a couple weeks.
Baby.
But I get it. But I battle myself a little bit with that because I'm going, if you're going to blow out, you're going to blow out. So if you're going to blow out, let's do it now and get it fixed, as opposed to like babying him there. You throw 98 with a slider, you're going to blow out twice in your career if you have a 10-year career. So you just hope it's not on a heater.
Yeah.
To that point, like they're babying the shit out of him, and that's not just a White Sox issue. It's a larger issue. I think you need to throw pitches. Why was it that, I'll just use the first name that came to my head, Nolan Ryan could throw 250 innings a year, throwing 100 miles an hour with a nasty, just tomahawk hook? Why is it like these guys have the access to like all the best training in the world and everything, but they break down even more?
Yeah, the reason why Nolan Ryan could do that is for the same reason when I met him during the World Series, my asshole puckered up, because it's the only, I worshiped that guy growing up. My grandfather, that was the first thing he ever bought me, was a Nolan Ryan autograph. I think he paid $80 for it. My mom was like, don't lose that. Your grandfather paid $80. I'm like, what is this, World War II times? Like, did he do without? Like, but Nolan Ryan's just a different breed. I think that's just that country strong, pitch through pain. Mark Burley, my gosh, not only was he great, but I knew that guy was battling like some stuff. But that's just the difference between being hurt and being injured.
Yeah.
Mark's arm always hurt, but it's like, how do you get him on the field? Nowadays, they're like, hey, trap tightness. They're like, shut him down. It's like, are these guys ever going to see? You guys are all baseball fans. I am too. When are we going to get to see him play?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when you make it to the big leagues. This is my biggest thing I told like Chris Getz, or I would tell him, is tomorrow's never guaranteed. The biggest mistake I made was I hit 230 this year. I'll just do better next year. Yeah, right. Your ass is traded to Boston, smell ya, and thanks for coming. Yeah. And there's no guarantees this core will be together next year. Murakami could get hurt. They could deal him. You just never know. So I think you got to hit the gas when it's time.
That's what I've been saying.
Most of these guys have been fairly high picks, right?
To
a degree.
Antonacci was a 5th rounder.
Yeah, that's Dave's guy though. He's like, yeah, 5th round grinder.
But that's fairly high. I mean,
no, it's not like it's not a nothing pick.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it is.
Davis Martin, I think, was 11th round.
Yeah, he was later. Actually, he's been with the organization for a long time.
He's the last holdover aside from Benintendi. But as far as like a prospect that was like groomed through the White Sox system, he's the last one off.
Listen, even if you're a first rounder, the's no guarantee.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all. That's and before we hit record on this, you mentioned Rock Chalowski.
Yeah.
Have you watched him play at all this year?
A ton. So admittedly, full disclosure, I hadn't watched him a ton. I heard his name, and then I started doing some games on the Big Ten Network, and I was forced to really take a deeper dive. And here's what I noticed: like, he's the most big league ready of any player in the draft right now, other than that catcher. That
Von
catcher,
Lackey.
Von Lackey from Georgia Tech. Both those guys could probably, they call them plug and plays. You could throw Rock Chalowski in a major league field right now, and he would be like ready to go. You could hide him in the 6-hole, 5-hole, and you're like, that guy's great. His ceiling's not as high because he's already pretty filled out, right? Like Colson's 6'4", so he can get some more size to him. You can shuffle him around. So game ready, Rock Chalowski's your guy. If you want projectability and bigger ceiling, I'd probably go a different route, maybe that Emerson kid. But I don't know. Getz said the other day, too, if you're drafting outfielder, you get a center fielder. I could go play anywhere.
Yeah.
You draft a shortstop, you play anywhere. You draft you go for a catcher because they're so scarce, right?
He's a DH, maybe. He's a first base, maybe.
But Rock's the dude. But if I'm gonna split hairs, his average did drop quite a bit when he got into Big Ten play as the arm started to get better, but that's normal. I mean, you start playing like Missouri Valley Tech State, you better go 4 for 5 with 3 pumps.
I know I'm going to get shit on for this by a lot of Sox fans, and I kind of already have, but I've probably watched about 10 UCLA games this year on Big Ten Net, and he's awesome. I don't see, all right, Connor Griffin was in here like 2 months back, right when they were playing the Cubs. It was the first weekend or two of the year.
March, yeah.
And
wait, Connor Griffin made it in here before me?
Yeah.
Actually,
he did.
I don't
What is
even know if
going
he
on?
had played.
He had just signed
He
his.
just
It was right
signed.
after his contract.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if he had seen a big league pitch.
That makes sense.
technically
You
at this
saw the
point.
dollar signs. You can't.
Yeah, well, duh. But like I shook his hand and I was like, this guy should be playing linebacker for the Bears.
Well, he's 6'3", too. He's
6'3", 220,
his
carved
quads,
out of
too.
wood. And Rock Chalowski, like I haven't seen him in person. Physically, I'm like, he is what he is right now.
Yeah,
like
no,
you said.
Yeah. So, like, I look at Rock Chalowski, and I look at a guy like Gordon Beckham, right? Gordon Beckham, tremendous college player, great pro, right? Got off to a great start. As major leaguers, right? We all deal with adversity. Like your career has some ups and downs, but Gordon Beckham was a plug and play. I met that dude, watched him take BP, and he was in the big leagues the next year batting 5-hole for us, right? I remember being on first base in Milwaukee. He rips a double to right center. I'm like, this kid's freaking good. So,
Would he have like 30 minor league games?
but again, like the White Sox just drafted Billy Carlson. They have Jacob Gonzalez. I coached against him when he was at Ole Miss. That dude is unbelievable. Him and Colson Montgomery are the exact same player. My opinion, Jacob's a little bit smoother at shortstop. Can make like those, the Ozzie Smith type, like the Omar Vizquel plays.
That's not
Colson's
Colson.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as like you saw how hot he got in AAA, Jacob Gonzalez had 19 homers. He was 8
Like
for 8 with
45
4
games.
homers before he got called up.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Chris Getz. And most people would say, like, the White Sox can't really afford to take a chance on a guy who has, like, a super high ceiling. Just take the sure bet, who most people think is Rock. Do you see him being like, I don't give a fuck. I have my intuition. I'm going to take the guy with the higher ceiling?
Yeah, I mean, so I think he's going to get with Mike Shirley, the scouting director. JJ Lawley's here. JJ's great. I talked to JJ the other day. We didn't get too deep into the draft. We were just catching up. But I think, hey, everyone has their opinion, right? We could all talk about going to, a restaurant tonight, but if I'm paying the bill, ultimately I'm going to fucking pick the restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Chris Getz, if he's going to put his name to that draft pick, this is 1-1. You miss, it goes on the GM.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now, you could fire the scouting director, but when you're like Chris Getz drafted Rock Chalowski, if he's an all-star, I mean, it's hail Chris Getz. If he's not, they're like, why didn't you go with Emerson? We're all going to.
But that's what I'm saying. That even if Rock doesn't end up being that, like, he was still the right play at the right time. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Getz the kind of guy who could be like, fuck it. Like, I feel good about this. I'm a kid or someone else.
He's Sam Bowie, right? Like, you can't knock the Trailblazers. Sam Bowie was like probably the top 3 best players in '85, and then you passed on Jordan, and now you look terrible.
Yeah.
I think that with Colson Montgomery, they have a proof of concept that, like, Colson Montgomery, I think he was the 21st overall pick. They have proof of concept that they can develop a middle infielder from the high school ranks. Like, Colson Montgomery was way more of there was a variance in what he could be. And I think that if you use that and as an example for Emerson's got a crazy high ceiling. He is further away, obviously.
Sounds like you're an Emerson guy.
But
I'm not an Emerson guy.
Let me tell you, there's no guarantees though. Like, there's projectability. I mean, I think about the draft I was in, right? There's 2 or 3 guys taken before me as outfielders, and I'm like, hey, like I don't think I'm not like I'm better than everybody, but you're like, how did that guy get popped before me? Like, I played.
Who were they,
college
out of
level.
curiosity?
Like, there was a kid, poor guy, never did anything to me. There's a kid named Chris Labansky that the Royals took at number 5, high school kid, fast, lefty, strong. And I'm like, yeah, but he's also facing 83. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go to high school right now and hit 9,000. Like, you know what I mean? So you start to look at that. But I mean, if I was Chris Getz, I would take a hard look. Yes, you're set at catcher right now, right? Kinda. But there's a lockdown catcher you have right now in this draft. Kyle Teal's hurt. Edgar Carroll's off to a pretty terrible start.
Yeah.
He was my pick to click this year, by the way. I was like, he's going to be an all-star. Thanks, buddy. But that guy is a real thing. And they have a couple arms, like that kid out of Santa Barbara. He's unbelievable too. There's a guy, that kid from UCLA is good. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you're like, you could take it 1-1. The problem is if you pass up on a Rock and he's an all-star, you're going to get smoked. You're going to get fired.
But you
should
said Getz is the kind of personality he doesn't care. Like, he'll still do that.
Well, he's going to do what he thinks can help the team win. I just think, I think if you're the GM, for the same reason you're telling this White Sox team, nothing's promised. Like, he could get a 5-year extension from Jerry. He can get fired tomorrow. Like, I'm in charge, I want to do what I want.
Because I think a lot of people are under the assumption that, like, 40% it's going to be Rock. It's like, no, it's going to be him.
It's probably 80,
Yeah.
20.
Like, I think a lot of people aren't buying that. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
No, I mean,
I think it's more of a coin flip than people think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are some. Chris Getz said it the other day on the MLB Network. He was like, just understand that we are doing our homework, but it is probably going to be a position player, which tells you
I think we all think that.
Von Lackey or both shortstops. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you can get a guy like Landon Tomey in a perfect world. The
I was
White
just
Sox
about to ask about him.
pop him at 41, but I don't think he's going to be around. Sorry, JJ. I talked to JJ about that. I was like, are the Sox going to get Landon? And JJ's like, I don't think
Is he
he's
going to be a comp round guy?
I mean, look you're talking about. I went and saw Landon Tomey play as a freshman. I went and saw him. I'm like, this kid is like. They asked him to bunt in a huge situation. Bunt. Keep in mind, his dad's the modern day Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
And asked him to bunt. And I'm telling you, he squared around, got set like Ozzie Guillen would, calm, like bat angle, bad pitch, pulled it back, and was looking back at his dad like, what's the sign now? Bunt again. Lays down a perfect bunt as a freshman. And the intangibles to be able to do that, that tells me your dad's a Hall of Fame baseball player.
So it sounds like you're pretty pumped up about the current core and the future a little bit.
More pumped up to see you. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to hold on
Yeah.
real quick. I looked at your hand for a second, and in your hand it was open, and I saw that ring, and I looked at Chief, and I know that's not the right engagement hand. I was like, is this fucking guy wearing a main engagement ring? And I was like, oh fuck, he is the white. He is Brian's fucking real serious.
I got the 05 ring on.
Yeah.
Not engaged, Ed.
Stopped in my tracks.
Would you like to hold it?
No.
No.
His hand
Ryan?
burn.
I'm good.
No.
Give it,
Lance?
hey, you give it to Pete Crow Armstrong right now, but he'd probably drop it.
That's
Here,
the next person I would like to speak
he's
of.
been hot.
He's been-
Is this just mine now?
yeah. I said if you ever got me on this podcast, you could have it.
I could have the ring. I won't be taking you. I would feel insanely guilty about that. You're like kind of one of the faces of the Cubs and White Sox rivalry.
Yeah.
For the last 10, 15, going on 20 years now, the rivalry has not been what it was when you were playing there. It had a fire lit under it this year, kind of out of nowhere with that chick in the bullpen sports bar flipping PC off and all that. It was all awesome. One of the things, I think it was the first night I ever met you, actually. We were talking about the fight that Barrett and AJ got in.
You mean where AJ got punched?
Yes. And you're like, man, I was hitting 200. I better have been the first guy to go tackle.
Well, let me tell you
Barrett,
this.
yeah.
Shame on me. I haven't apologized to you right now because I said I was hitting 200. That was the first lie I ever told you. I was hitting about $160. and then the next day, after trying to punch everybody, the Chicago media and like two papers were like, "That's the best swings Anderson's taken all year." I'm like, come on. That's when I knew I was in trouble. But that rivalry's crazy because it all got started. I bases loaded. I think I got a cookie from Rich Hill at 88 right down the middle. I mean, even when you're struggling, 88 lefty on righty, you hit that ball, to left center, deep enough where there's no throw. I hit the shallowest fly ball to the guy with the worst throwing arm in history, Matt Merton. I mean, that AJ will tell you, should have been out by 50 feet. Matt Merton throws a grenade in there, a 12 hopper from deep short. AJ blows him up, and then it was just on. I turned around. I'm like, oh, hell yeah.
Is that the only brawl you've ever gotten in as a player?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it hit my pocketbook the worst, and I got suspended a long time. But I don't know. I think nowadays there's not really many fights. The best fight I ever saw was that big black kid, the lefty, that
Amir Garrett.
Garrett beat the shit out of everybody.
Where he tried to fight the
that's my guy.
Pittsburgh?
I want that guy on my team. That dude,
hell yeah,
he was looking for it. And that to me is a fight. Nowadays they're like, hey, like Ozzy was pretty good about it. He's like, if you want to go get the pitcher, go get him. Like, don't talk shit on the way to first, and then we all have to come down here and waste our time. I'm the same way. Like, I'm not very good at mincing words. I don't possess the mental fortitude or the vocabulary or the patience. I'm like, let's roll. The problem is I swung at John Mabry. Poor guy's like so nice. So,
hey, should have been standing there.
yeah. If you slow it down, I actually sucker punched Barrett on the way by, and I felt bad about that too. And we hashed it out. He's actually a really cool dude.
It's kind of wild that we've talked to AJ before. He's like he won't do anything with him.
No.
With what?
Like with Barrett or
Who won't?
AJ. Like he said, he's been offered like commercials and shit. And he's
Who
like,
cares? I'll talk to him about it.
No.
Nah,
Like,
no.
I mean, I would love to.
I love that out of AJ. He's just a
Hey,
spiteful.
No, like they'll both be
competitor.
here. Yeah, listen, AJ AJ, everything he did on that play was by the book. Yeah, he slammed. I mean, in the most AJ of fashions, he did slam his hand on the plate, walk dangerously close by him. A very avoidable offenses, but AJ's the master instigator. That's why you got to love him.
That's
And I think it's not like he's like mad about it. I think he's just like he looks
Yeah.
at him as lower than him. I'm like AJ's still doing really well.
I mean, you know what's crazy is as much as I hate boosting his ego sometimes, but AJ's great. You look at his stats. You're like Joe Mauer, first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm like AJ Pierzynski, World Series, 2,000 hits, All-Star, like great, like caller of games. Pitchers love throwing to him. Like
I want to
in the
say,
conversation.
last I looked,
Yeah.
he was 5th all-time in hits for a catcher.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah,
Like,
2,000 hits
That's
is
great.
awesome
I
for
didn't
anybody. Yeah,
realize that.
No,
That's
he's-
crazy.
He was all-time guy of like I hated him so much growing up.
Yeah.
I wanted to hate him, but start doing this.
Can't.
He's so fucking cool.
Yeah, he's
so
the
I love him.
best.
if I had as many hits as he did, I would be dead.
Dude,
I mean-
he would. It would be Sox versus Angels on a Tuesday night in Anaheim, California, and it would just be a serenade of boos for AJ Preller.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where he played; he was hated.
Yeah.
And that's
29
I
teams hated
loved
him,
it.
yeah.
Oh, you
I
should have
loved
seen
it.
when we went back to in 08. I think we went back to play San Fran, man. They crushed them. They crushed them at Minnesota all the time.
Yeah,
You're right. He's 6th all-time.
6 all time.
He's tied with Yogi Berra for hits.
That's nuts, man.
That's fucking insane.
That's
And-
insane.
and then Yogi Berra's like, hold my 12 rings. But,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Hey, all you need is one.
all right. I mean,
Especially in this city.
here's how fucked up the baseball world is, right? Like, I got to play with 4 Hall of Famers: Frank, Tommy, Griffey, David Ortiz when I got traded to Boston. But I also played with Konerko, Jermaine Dye, like borderline guys.
Yeah.
Right? Had they stuck it out, probably would have been. I'm like, how the fuck do I have a World Series ring and Ken Griffey Jr. and Jim Tomei don't have one? Like,
right
I
place,
almost
right
want to be
time.
like, Jim, here.
You-
My
yeah.
gift.
It's pretty wild. What I mean, I feel like you really want to jump into PCA. I feel like we didn't even get into like any of these White Sox guys.
Yeah, we're just here.
There's two
shooting the
teams
shit.
with the
Yeah.
exact same
I-
record.
like,
Yeah,
Nah,
exactly.
Sox have a half
The
game
Cubs
better
stink.
record.
Like I like yesterday, like and this whole week, like really drove me over the fucking edge. Like I know the A's are pretty decent, but the Giants
Giants
suck.
suck.
So to lose both series was incredibly frustrating, especially in the
8 in a
fashion.
row, I believe.
The base running 8 series in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't won since before the White Sox.
Yeah.
series.
You know, the
Like,
Cubs,
that was our
I
last
was talking to David Kaplan about that, and we were bullshitting about the Cubs, and I was giving him shit about PCA. Don't get me wrong. I take that kid on my team
Oh, yeah.
every day of the week,
Every-
twice on
of
Sunday.
course.
But when you just simply don't make 3 catastrophic outfield mistakes in 1 year. Like if I remember, like I wasn't good enough at the dish, at the plate to make those kind of mistakes. Like I caught everything. No one ran on me because I had a bazooka. But then like Cappy only set me off the other day for one reason. He's like, PCA is a great arm. I'm like, fuck him. Like I throw 102 from the outfield. Like, and I go, he just overthrew his cutoff by 50 feet. I go, he stinks. And then Cappy was like, Cappy
went
loves
off.
him. Yeah.
This is my sincere and honest take on PCA. He's an awesome player. I don't want him being the best player on my team. It's no different than Javi Baez. Javi Baez was the perfect complement to that 2016 team for all the electricity that he brought. But if you were the best player on that team, they do not win that.
But he's not the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Like
PCA?
No.
PCA is definitely the best player on the team.
Hey, if you're
I'd say
look at
Nico's better for
No,
sure.
listen, Nico
PCA
Horner.
is better
Listen,
than
Nico
PCA.
Horner's good. He's got the intangibles.
Nico.
Nico Horner's like a Carl Everett, right? Like he's gonna like be top 3 on the list every team. But then like if PCA's up, if the game's on the line and there's bases loaded and he's getting his ass booed, I'll throw PCA up there because he doesn't care. You made a good point. If PCA had like an Anthony Rizzo on the team to be like, hey, dude, like chill the fuck out. Like you
Completely
can't be
agree.
doing that shit. Like or hey, like you got to go on there. You got to dial that back. Now, what he said to that girl is hilarious. But I mean, because hey, you buy a ticket to the game. If you're allowed to throw verbal jabs at the players within reason. Now I have a daughter, so I'm a little more reserved. But you know, within reason, you should be allowed to like tee him up. Now the problem is that chick's fiance was right there, and he just had to wear it. Like if someone said that to my fiance, I'm going through that fence. PCA is no longer able to play the rest of the year. But I mean, it's there's an inherent. You're being exposed. Like you should be able to say what you want. You just can't go on the stands.
She literally said, we bought tickets specifically in the bullpen bar so we could taunt PCA.
Yeah, she's like
You don't, at that point, you don't get to control what they within reason, obviously, what they say back. And I didn't think to me, suck my dick is saying fuck you. That doesn't. You're not actually saying a sexual.
I don't know.
Comment.
Well, I mean, back in the day, the Cubs fans used to let me have it in center field, and I'm not proud of this, but there's a few times I was like the frat boys with their hair combed forward with their stupid Croc sunglasses or whatever.
I know all about them.
They'd be laying into me, and I would be like, you know what? And it was quiet enough for me to hear, but like, keep it up. And I'm like, you see her next to you? I go, give her a hug, because after the game, I go, I guarantee you she'll be meeting up with us at High Top. So why don't you dial it back a little bit? And I made it like I didn't care if I got 3 hits. I'd be like, hey, tell Brittany to dial it down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Cubs are at the point, and like Bregman's been really bad, and he talked after the game. He made the last out, and he's like, "I just fucking suck right now."
Yeah,
like they're at the point where they know they just don't have anything.
Well, and
that happens, right?
They brought him in to kind of be that Rizzo voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't do that when you're hitting $135 or whatever he's been. Like, he's been so bad. So it's like, how can you be a leader when you're a black hole?
Yeah, Rizzo's got that personality too, where he's bubbly and fun, but he's also 6'3". He's a bigger dude. He's gonna be like, hey, like
commands
knock that
presence.
Off. And but like Jose Altuve, right? As grimy, he's not a very big guy, but like that guy, like you're not gonna slip one past him. You go to the Astros, like in their heyday, even though they're cheating, but like you go in there and you start pulling some stupid shit. I guarantee you, Jose Altuve is pulling Pete Crow Armstrong aside, and he's like, listen, dude. Like that can never happen again, or just like chill out, like clean it up. Like clean it up goes a long way. One time I caught a ball, and I was not like a flashy guy, but I caught a ball on the run. I thought there was 2 outs. I put my head down. I thought it was sweet. I was like running in. I got all the way to like Alexi Ramirez in short and looked up, and they were still on the field. I'm like, and Paul Konerko was like, just catch the fucking ball. And like, I needed to hear that. And then he came up to me. He's like, sorry, I love you. But, but like, you need to
break them down, then build them up.
But seriously, the reason why every level I ever played at, high school, I played for Phil Wright, great high school coach. Kent Winslow won a national or a state championship. And I played for Coach Stitt there. Andy Lopez, 2 national championships. Ozzie Guillen, right? Everywhere I went was like, we don't care how good you think you are or where you got drafted. If you don't play the game the right way, we'll send your ass back to Charlotte or release you. And I always played as if I don't run this ball out, I didn't want to disappoint the fans. Like, swinging at sliders in the dirt was bad enough. Like, I don't want to not run a ball out.
You
and give him a reason
hustle.
To be like, fuck Anderson.
Yeah. You're right. You could control that.
Totally. But yeah, I it's weird. If you would have asked me this 4 or 5 months ago, I would just like I like the White Sox core right now, and I think it's gotten to the point where, and I know these guys don't want to hear this, but it is a compare-contrast show to an extent. I think I would take the White Sox core right now over the Cubs core.
Oh, I mean, listen, I know
their age.
I know what's coming up.
Yeah, you have to take that all into account.
Yeah.
I know it's coming up, and you heard it here first. I coined this term for Murakami, but then they ran off with the Southside Samurai. But, there's a guy named Braden Montgomery coming up through the organization. He was at Stanford when I was coaching at Arizona. And, dude, I've never met a player that reminded me more of myself in terms of, like, he's a better player than I was. He's a switch hitter. I think he's going to be much, much better than I was. But he could go get it. He's got a bazooka in the outfield.
His arms
He
awesome.
came in at Stanford. I watched him throw in and out. He threw, like, lasers from right. Then he came in to close against us, 98, and then smacked it around. And I'm like, wow. So there could be a real possibility that 2 Montgomerys are here as like catalysts for the team. And I know you're going to start playing on words like Eminem or something like that. So you heard it here first.
I've been stewing for T-shirts to hawk to our followers for a minute. So maybe you got something there.
Yeah, something's going on. The White Sox will play on that big time. There'll be an Eminem incorporated.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think given the age that's like a little difficult to argue for Cubs fans.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not going to like.
No, I was talking to somebody earlier today where it's like, that's why I was so mad last year when they weren't aggressive, because it does feel like, given the age of Hap, Swanson, all these guys, it's like the window is closing.
You guys gave me shit for saying that last year.
I was saying it last year.
Well,
I mean, Dan walked off a podcast because I'm like, they didn't do enough.
Break it down in terms of like, there's a saying a dear friend of mine always tells me. He's like, BA, he's like, see things for how they are and not how you wish them to be, right? Like we all as fans, we get caught up in this, like, yeah, but it's Nico Horner. Oh yeah, it's Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman's past his prime.
Mm-hmm.
Dansby Swanson he's a great player, probably his best days are behind him, right?
Definitely.
Ian Happ's probably right in the mix right now. He's right in the thick of it. Pete Crow's in the thick of it. But with Pete Crow, the thing with him though is like he'll either go 5 for 5 or 0 for 5 with 3 punches.
Yep.
Like he's a roller coaster, and that's tough when you're trying to battle down the stretch.
That leads me to. That's part of the reason that I don't think you want him being your best player on like an actual like, hey, we're trying to win a World Series this year. Like, is because of the lack of consistency.
Yeah, but like, that's the thing. Like I keep saying, like he no shit. Like no shit. If he's your best player, you're not a World Series contender, and that was the thing. Like he wasn't. You know.
But at what point can we say the guy's 24? Like
Who's that, Pete Crow?
Yeah, he's 24, and what were you gonna start?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
No, I just say I keep forgetting that he's so young.
Yeah, like at some point, like let the guy. Try
A lot
to
of guys
figure
are
it
He
out.
might be-
their debut at this age.
Like let guys try to figure it out. Like I don't know if you watched. I thought Rizzo on NBC Baseball, he was amazing. Sunday Night Baseball, like the way he was talking about how he's seeing the ball better right now. Like that's how you could tell because he held on that slider. Like typically when Pete Crow's fucking really shitty, then he's
he's swinging at that 100% of the time.
So like he's in his second full season. Like I think like he deserves a little bit. Of
I agree.
He needs he deserves a longer runway for sure. But that's the problem when you're in a bigger city, in a bigger market city like Chicago, LA, New York. When you show signs of greatness, the fans are like, World Series 2016.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. They still like, hey, you know, like speaking of nothing's guaranteed. Everyone's like, it's going to be a dynasty. It's like all the players went like this.
No, I remember having that conversation where it was like, if they don't win 2, is it a disappointment? And I think we all said yes. I mean, granted, like going to the NLCS 3 years in a row, most teams would fucking kill for that, but it's just like they just didn't quite, like 16 was magical, and then they just
kind of puckered out a little bit for whatever reason.
This time last year, he was in the midst of his fucking super hot start of the year.
Yeah.
And then the second half wasn't as great. He didn't start the year great this year, so it's been a tough year from now.
Obviously,
his last 15 games, he's
been he's been awesome.
Last 15 games, I mean, obviously he's been awesome, but it's been like 40 games now.
I'm gonna give you guys a little insight, little former MLB like a baseball hack. So when a guy's locked, you made a really good point, right? When a hitter's locked in, it's not the pitches he's swinging at and the result of what he's doing on pitches in play. When you see a player like Pete Crow Armstrong and he's dialed in with runners on base and he's taking nasty sliders and his lower half is just and his body's under control. It's just really slow, deliberate movements. He's in a really good spot. When you see guys, I did this a lot. Like when you see guys that like fastballs up and they're like almost check swinging every time, they're in a bad spot because they're not seeing it well. Like if you're almost offering it, I mean, think about this. We've been groomed our whole lives to swing at a pitch in this zone. And we're thinking about swinging a tomahawking one over our head, like Last of the Mohicans over here, you know? So it's like, if you see a guy taking the pitches like really calmly, Mike Trout's the best at it. He'll be sitting there, and as a pitch comes up, if it's fastball, like up and in, he's just like, no. And if you see him do that, you're like, don't throw him a strike. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong's the same. I mean, you probably can't boo him telling him he's overrated and then pipe him a 93-mile-an-hour fastball too in St. Louis.
That was
cool. For sure. But no, and that's like because you said earlier, like if there's a guy you want up, like it's him. At this juncture, I almost disagree with that because when we would say this all the time, I went to a few playoff games with Big Cats. When they would chant his name, it's almost like he gets too fired up, you know, and he loses his composure and he loses his eye.
I like him in that spot on the road. You know, like at home he gets too jacked up.
I mean,
trying to do too
much.
It's
a real thing. Like I tell you what, right now, I have 4 or 5 career homers in Seattle. You want to know why? It's quiet as shit in there. Like I don't care if Felix is on the mound, Jared Washburn, Eddie. I mean, all these guys.
This was for me to tee you up to let you hit 2 home runs in the same game off Felix Hernandez.
Oh no, I didn't know it was coming, but thank you. Hey, thank you. That was 21 years ago. No, but.
What date? What was the date?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I bet you could.
I know my big league debut was, and that was it. I think it was on August 16th, and that was it, man. But I'm just telling you, man, that's a real thing in Seattle because it's quiet. The ball, you can see the ball, the adrenaline, like you're even killed. It's like we're talking right now. You start having 50,000 people gas you up, like you're like, I can hit any pitch out.
Yes.
They're all going over the fence.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're 0 for 4, 3 punches, and you're out of there.
23, 24-year-old guy. Like
I do think that as time goes on, that he will learn to hone that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but he will hone that energy more. But at the same time, like, do you want him to? Because like that energy is what makes him PCA. You know,
Listen, he wants to be like that on the base pass, like whatever. Like,
Yeah.
when you're in the batter's box, I
he
think
could cruise around the bases. He
can do it all, man.
I
He's
would
awesome.
rather you always as a former coach, manager, a GM, you'd rather dial a guy back than have to Luis Robert them. Be like, please run first.
Yeah.
for sure.
Like
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that.
sure.
I would have been kicked off every team I've ever played on if I did that. And I mean, who did it the other day? Juan Soto did it. And Juan Soto's a good clubhouse guy, but he had a ground ball to second, making $18 trillion a year. He got halfway. The guy bobbled it, went into like shallow right, and he still got thrown out. That can never happen.
No.
Yeah.
How?
can't.
And no one's saying you have to sprint and blow out, but 75%, like
Yeah.
a nice jog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Make it look
a just
good.
in case jog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, we gotta wrap this up. BA, thank you. We appreciate
sweet,
you
yeah.
jumping in. Unless if you have any last question or anything like that.
No, just
I got one for you.
10 years.
Are they going to the playoffs this year?
I said it last year. I'll say it this year. The 2026 White Sox are the 2025 Cincinnati Reds. They're going to sneak in at minimum in that play-in game.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that.
Fuck your Rams hat too, dude.
Yeah.
Too soon? Sorry, guys. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
I've been a Rams fan since the Jim Everett days with Flipper Anderson,
Chris Everett?
Kevin Green. How dare you? Threw off his back foot, but oh god. But no,
That's what I was saying. That's like the Suge Knight hat.
yeah, it's sweet. A friend of mine gave this to me. It's the actually she's more than a friend. Sorry, I get in trouble for saying that, but sorry.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming in. Finally, come back. Bring Guff next time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
love. Tell Guff thank you. He is my absolute favorite dude in White Sox,
Yeah.
and that's with all due respect to Chuck and Merck and all those guys. But in terms of like wearing his fandom on his sleeve while also being employed by the team, there's nobody better.
Yeah,
he's
it's
awesome.
we could really get it juicy in here. We'll get Cap in here too. Really,
Oh yeah,
spinning
no,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've wanted to get him and
Yeah.
Guff in, so we should
Yeah.
do everyone. So
I know a guy. I know a
make it
guy.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do a roundtable. I don't know, All-Star break,
Yeah,
maybe a little
something like
after.
that.
I don't know.
Great.
We'll
August
figure
or
it out.
something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, BA. Thank
Thanks,
you, man.
guys.
Appreciate
BA.
you.
Got it.
All right, thank you again to Brian Anderson for jumping in with us, and we'll finish the show out. Really stunning news yesterday, like stunning
Horrible.
news, horrible, sad news. Stacey King passed away. I mean, what do you even say? Like, that's the most shocked I've been by a death in quite a while.
Yeah, I was just scrolling. I was at the beach just scrolling my phone. I like let out an audible gasp.
Yeah.
You know, because it is like he's such a lovable part of this city. You know, like he to me, like the only redeeming quality the Bulls have had for a long time is Stacey King, and you think back to all like the Derrick Rose years. He's from Chicago.
Give me that hot sauce.
Yeah, like. So he, you know, all his little catchphrases, his genuine like love and excitement for the Bulls and the city, and it's just like, how do you? I don't know. It's like
He's got young kids too.
Yeah.
Younger at least. I don't know if you got. I had met him a handful of times. Absolute most sincerely nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life, and it fucking sucked. I'm not a big NBA guy, obviously, but this one it hurt yesterday. It
did.
really hurt.
It did, man. You know that. I mean, obviously the Derrick Rose era, he was there for it all. But the big, too fast, too strong, Derrick
Yeah.
Rose, like
Yeah.
that's something that I'll always remember when you think of Derrick Rose.
When
When you think of so many of these guys, like
Yeah.
he was a great nickname guy. And you're right, like he made some unbearable Bulls teams bearable because he was so funny, and he was just so knowledgeable.
just
the
a
way
goof, yeah,
Yeah.
in
He
the
was
best way.
Right, like he would
Yeah.
kind of. It's hard to be the goof and the analyst and the
Yeah.
and the fan, kind of all. At the
He
same
packaged them
time.
perfectly.
Yeah, he was great.
He was, man.
Tragic loss. Feel for his family.
Yeah.
Fucking man.
It sounds like
doing
it was just
yard work or
a freak
something.
accident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awful.
I don't know,
Awful.
man.
Awful.
yeah. It's sad, and obviously, you know, thinking of his family, thinking of all the broadcast partners with the Bulls and
Yeah.
everything. That's brutal. He will he'll be missed, man. Anything else, guys? I mean, it's you just
Somber way
yeah,
to.
you just don't know what
Yeah.
to say. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I said, it was just so stunning, and he was like the sentiment. Like I don't know anyone who didn't like Stacey.
No,
King.
no.
Yeah.
Every single person. Yeah. Everybody
You know?
loves Stacey
Yeah.
King.
Yeah, like in a you know a broadcast rich city.
Yep.
I think he was, you know, the
Yeah.
crown jewel of them all.
Yeah.
So, Rest in peace to Stacey King. Do you have like a favorite call of his, Lance? Did you have a favorite nickname?
Obviously, like even my grandmother even loves Stacey King. So Give Me the Hot Sauce is obviously a classic one. I always loved when Denzel Valentine pulled up that deep three and we don't need that. Like, you know, like that one was funny.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
That was funny where he just kind of just bailed on saying Giannis's last name at the
Yeah.
It wasn't even going to attempt
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. Yeah, he was the best, man. And he that whole D Rose era.
Yeah, he loved Derrick Rose. That game where Rose went off against the Celtics in game 1 and was that 08 or 09? 09 I think it would have been. Like that, like everything about that game where he just called.
Yeah.
Like
You
it's
like the
burning.
drive home safe at the end.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Beep,
exactly.
beep.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
drive home safe. Yeah.
And am I mistaken? Did Stacey King create Jimmy Buckets? Jimmy
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Buckets.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gucci Mane, yeah.
Like there's so many awesome ones. He yeah, man, he's gonna be missed the more you talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the Chicago Bulls are just not going to feel the same.
No, they're
it's
not.
like a voice, and it's something that like my family we relate to. Like my grandmother even will always say, love Stacey King. It's something that like the Chicago Bulls are just going to feel slightly different. He left an impact on all the fans, even when the team wasn't great. So
Yeah.
shout out him. He was a legend.
And it's like he's impossible to replace, but it's hard to get broadcasters that create a connection with the fans. And like you look at like it was different circumstances, but the Hawks went through losing Foley and Edzo, where it's like they brought in these young kids, they were a disaster. Then they bring in like 2 established guys, and they're good, but it's not
Professional.
Yeah, and it's Darren Pang, and like he's one of the good ones, but it's like it's not the same thing as what you had with Edzo. Like you don't feel
We need that in Chicago.
you don't have that emotional connection,
Right.
So like I'm sure they'll find somebody who will do a good job, but he's not going to be Stacey King.
Yeah, like there's a like a sense of a kinship you have with these broadcasters. Where
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they're my guys, and it's hard to.
Yeah,
I mean-
Stacey King did that tenfold.
yeah,
Lance could probably speak to this better than the three of us because like we kind of grew up with Norm Van Leer and then Johnny
Yeah.
Red Kerr a lot to an extent. Obviously, Stacey King came after them. You grew up on Stacey King. Like,
I really
like,
only know Stacey King.
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
my point. Like if like God forbid if something would have happened to Hawk Harrelson when I was like that was the guy that called every baseball game of my life.
Yeah.
And I would have been a train wreck if that would if something like this would have happened to him. Just this happening to someone like Lance, like, oh man, it's just
And this
awful.
might sound a little crazy to outside people, but the reaction of my friend group chat, just because we like the Bulls as kids, it was a very similar to when Kobe passed. It was all of us, our reaction in the group chat, like, holy shit, we've lost Stacey King.
Yeah.
It was a very similar to like, holy shit, Kobe's not around with us anymore.
It was stunning.
Not gonna lie, like that might sound crazy, but it truly was.
It was stunning.
yeah.
So yeah, one more time, rest in peace, Stacey King.
Give him a statue.
Condolences to his family.
Johnny Kerr's got a statue,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Put it
sorry,
next to his.
All right then, that's it, guys. Thanks again, Brian Anderson. We'll see you guys next week.